We begin with this breaking news. A carjacking victim killed in this L.A. parking garage, and right now police are searching for the killer.
Tonight, NBC4's Hetty Chang is live for us in Westlake, where detectives are searching for evidence and witnesses. Hetty?
Chuck and Colleen, I can tell you this is very early on in the investigation, but at this hour, investigators are on the top floor, the 6th floor of this parking structure near 6th and Rampart, investigating the circumstances surrounding a possible carjacking. LAPD confirming to us tonight that one man is dead and that he may have been run over by his own car. The call came in around 6 this evening, initially as a possible hit and run on the 6th level of this parking structure on South Carondelet Street. We do know this is a paid parking structure. Some people telling us that this is next to the Carondelet House, which is a venue some people can rent out for events and weddings. Police confirming the suspect took off with the victim's car and possibly ran down the victim as that driver took off. Right now, investigators searching for any clues, any witnesses, any sort of surveillance video.
There may be. I don't know. Again, that's part of what our investigation is, to identify all video sources or any imagery we can obtain to try to find out what exactly happened tonight.
Again, all of this early on in the investigation. We do know that the suspect is on the run. There have been no arrests. That person may be driving, again, the victim's car, that car described as possibly a gray Nissan Xterra. Live in Westlake tonight, Hetty Chang, NBC4 News.
Thank you, Hetty. More breaking news. What started out as a brush fire just a week ago tonight is now the 5th largest wildfire in California history, and it's still threatening thousands of homes.
In 7 days, the Thomas Fire has moved from Santa Paula and now looms close to the south end of Santa Barbara County. It has grown to more than 231,000 acres and is still only 20% contained. As of tonight, this fire has destroyed more than 867 structures, many of them homes. The damage total at least $48 million.
The numbers are amazing, and NBC4's Beverly White is live for us in Carpinteria right now, where the frustration is growing for families struggling to cope with so much destruction. Beverly?
That's right, Chuck. Whether you're unscathed or you lost everything, it's hard to grasp the dimensions and destruction of the Thomas Fire. We're here on the leading edge in Carpinteria, 30 miles and 1 week from where it all began. No signs of civilian life in Carpinteria's smoky evacuation zones, still threatened by wildfire that's slowing down but far from contained. Just under 7,000 firefighters up against the Thomas Fire right now, many setting back fires here in Santa Monica Canyon.
That's why we're trying to basically burn this area out and keep our #1 goal is to keep the fire away from Carpinteria, Montecito, Summerlin, and Santa Barbara. Keep it out of the homes. Hundreds of stressed out victims and survivors packed this community meeting near the Thomas Fire's point of origin in Santa Paula. These siblings say flames overran their family's 40-acre ranch, forcing them to free all their livestock.
You can't even express what it was. We were both there while it was happening, and it was something. You want to cry, you want to scream, you want to say stop.
We are following my grandfather's tradition. Legacy, my dad's legacy, and so we're going to try to continue the farming.
The family recovered their animals, but like so many here and across the region, face an uncertain future. More meetings are planned to help fill their needs, and with just 20% containment, firefighters are determined to minimize everybody's losses going forward. We're probably going to be here through Christmas, and so just the residents that have been evacuated, just be patient with us. We're empathetic to your needs. We know you want to get back. As you can imagine, these unpredictable winds are key. Firefighters are hopeful Monday night goes better than Sunday did. Yesterday, they had explosive growth with 7 miles or 56,000 acres in just 1 day. All of these conditions worsened by the fact they've gone 250 days out here without any meaningful rain. Reporting live in Carpinteria, I'm Beverly White, NBC4 News.
And on top of that, there is more. A red flag warning now extended again tonight.
Fritz Coleman is tracking the high winds and extremely dry conditions out there that crews are dealing with as they battle this Thomas Fire. Fritz.
All right, guys, let's look at the weather on the ground right now in the area of the Thomas Fire. We're triangulating with 3 areas. Nobody is getting winds any stronger than out of the north at 7 miles an hour. Great news. That's the city of Ventura. Calm up in Ojai. Great. Montecito only 3 miles an hour out of the northeast. National Weather Service has extended the red flag, but not for all areas. Mountains of LA and Ventura County, Santa Clarita Valley, Santa Monica Mountains, coast and inland to the mountains in Ventura County this till tomorrow, may go the rest of the week. Sadly and ironically, the only area getting wind today was the Ventura County and Santa Barbara County areas near the fire. And there will be periods of time when the winds will pulse back up over the next 2 or 3 days. When I come back with a wind futurecast, we'll show you when that might happen and the rest of the information, including temperatures that are well above normal and how long they'll last. All that is straight ahead.
Now to a family in Santa Paula. Neighbors calling them heroes. They risked everything to put out fires that could have wiped out their entire neighborhood. The Harrison family used garden hoses and water buckets to hose down the large oak trees on fire in their backyard. Those trees were on fire and the embers were raining down on nearby homes.
We had oak trees popping behind us like firecrackers. The palm trees were just blowing like Roman candles.
Neighbors, in fact, who were blocks away say if those oak trees had gone up in flames, they could have taken out as many as 100 homes with them.
Now we want to show you a violent crash, and the driver behind the wheel survives, and now witnesses are coming forward to explain the bizarre moments when they reach the woman in the car. NBC4's Adrian Arambulo joins us live in Whittier with what they're saying. Adrian?
Well, Chuck, the driver actually lost control about 100 yards in that direction, flipped the vehicle and slid all the way over here, slamming into cars. The sparks, the collision, all caught on multiple cameras, including this one. Surveillance video shows a suspected DUI driver slamming into cars on Mulberry in Whittier.
Like a train derailing.
The car flips, sparks fly. Johnny Cortez's camera captured the video. He heard and felt the impact.
It actually shook like an earthquake in my bedroom.
The force so strong, one parked car collided into the next and the next like dominoes.
I thought I was gonna catch a fire. I was down on the floor.
The out-of-control driver nearly hit Sarah Cortez and other people out walking Saturday night.
I was in shock. I was super scared.
You can see people from the nearby apartment complex rush to pull the driver out of the wreckage.
She was out of it. She was very out of it.
I saw this whole thing.
Witnesses tell us the woman said she was worried about her baby. But there was no baby, rather countless beer cans.
It's a miracle that she survived.
And a miracle no one else was hurt or even killed.
Her car actually was on the sidewalk and hit right here.
The utility pole stopped the suspect's car from slamming into a building.
It would have ended up in my bedroom or in an apartment office.
I'm talking with Johnny and some of the other neighbors. I asked them what message they are hoping to share tonight, and they're saying with all the holiday parties coming up and people out drinking, they're hoping that people act responsibly and use designated drivers or rideshare services. Reporting live in Whittier, Adrian Arambulo, NBC4 News.
And new at 11, a band of robbers with guns terrifies workers at a T-Mobile store in downtown L.A. Police say they tied up the employees at this location on Figueroa and Olympic. The robbers got away with at least 100 new cell phones. One of the workers was injured in the robbery. So far, no arrests made. One of the suspects was reportedly a woman.
$10,000. That's what the family of a man killed by a hit-and-run driver in Anaheim is offering tonight. 31-year-old Corey Chase was killed last Thursday on Broadway near Magnolia after he was hit by a Chevy pickup and then thrown into the air. The driver ran off, leaving the vehicle behind. Corey's father says his son was a talented musician scheduled to perform tomorrow night in Corona Del Mar.
This is something that what we wanted to do is to make sure that the person who did this to my son is apprehended.
This is now being investigated as a felony hit and run as police are still looking for the driver of a blue Chevy pickup.
And News Chopper 4 hovering over a dangerous situation at a mobile home fire in Canoga Park. This fire broke out around 8:30 tonight on North Eaton Avenue. LA firefighters say ammunition was exploding while they were trying to put it out, making this fire even more dangerous for them. Right now, investigators are still trying to figure out how it started.
No doubt it caught the attention of a lot of visitors at Disneyland today. A house fire in Anaheim. In fact, smoke could be seen for miles. Firefighters say this was a fast-moving fire that quickly jumped from the garage over to the main area of the house. It broke out around 5:30 and firefighters had it out about 15 minutes later. No one was hurt, and arson investigators are still looking into a cause tonight.
Meantime, security in New York no doubt stepped up ahead of the morning commute after an attempted terror attack there. Police say a man detonated a pipe bomb at a Port Authority bus terminal during the morning rush hour just before 7:30 this morning. But the explosive did not fully detonate when it went off. Police arrested Aikid Ullah for the attack. He lives in Brooklyn and is of Bangladeshi descent and reportedly worked near the Port Authority. He is now in custody and remains in a hospital. At least 3 other people were also injured.
I ran like everyone around me. I ran into people. I fell and got up, fighting for my life to get out.
Investigators say he told them he attempted the attack in the name of ISIS. This was the city's second terror attack in less than 2 months.
Still ahead, new details about the cat that survived being thrown like a football. How the animal's doing tonight and what's next. Man caught on camera yelling racial insults at women in Huntington Beach. So why are police not calling this a hate crime? The first time people saw this, they couldn't believe it. A Snapchat video shows this 16-year-old from Ontario throwing a kitten like a football into the street. The kitten named Spot tonight is back home. It's been at the vets for nearly 2 weeks, recovering from a broken leg and internal injuries.
I am pretty happy because at least I know that she's alive and that I can touch her now and I can know that she's actually here. That's Spot's owner. Police arrested the teenager a few days later after the video went viral, and now he's facing charges of felony animal cruelty. Meantime, a dispute over a parking space turns ugly, and a man from Huntington Beach is caught on camera shouting racial slurs. Well, the abuse was all verbal, making it a hate incident, not a hate crime. But the women on the receiving end say no matter what it's called to them, it was offensive and terrifying.
I was scared because I was feeling like he was gonna punch me or do something bad to me.
It's totally racist, and it's a hate incident, and it's something that we should all be, A, counting, B, be aware of, and C, be educating our community about. Now, the people who live on that street call the parking situation a free-for-all. Police say all this has to be worked out, though, between the tenants and the landlord. Tonight, detectives are looking for more possible victims of a La Habra man who's accused of stalking and threatening at least a dozen women on social media. Investigators say 25-year-old Dominic Magdaleno used several social media platforms to stalk, harass, and threaten 15 women. They were alerted, about Magdaleno's actions after a 19-year-old victim first reported him. For the first time since the Kate Steinle murder trial ended, a member of the jury is now speaking out about the case that sparked a national immigration debate.
Are you comfortable with your decision?
I am comfortable with my decision. And whatever they showed us, they presented to us, yes, I can put my head in a pillow and sleep well, think that I made the right decision.
Last month, the jury acquitted Jose Zarate on murder charges. Today, one of the jurors talked exclusively to our NBC station in the Bay Area. He says he's speaking out because many people, including President Trump, are using the case as a rally cry. But he isn't showing his face because the case is still so controversial.
They could not prove it to us that he intentionally killed her. And through all the evidence, I really think there was just a freak accident.
Zarate had been deported 5 times and was wanted for a 6th deportation when he killed Steinle, but that evidence was not presented to the jury. Police in Glendale have a warning out tonight about this woman preying on shoppers during the holiday season. Investigators say that she's a pickpocket and she targets people at restaurants and cafes around the Glendale and Pasadena area, then quickly racks up charges on those credit cards, including several high-priced laptops. And new details tonight in the desperate search to find a dog separated from his family after the Creek Fire broke out. Joel Gonzalez is now offering a $5,000 reward to help find his dog, Taco. Gonzalez is the fire captain at the Little Tujunga Station. He says Taco disappeared near Fenton Avenue Charter School last Monday while his family was being evacuated. The funding site GoFundMe says that over $3 million has already been raised on its site so far for fire victims.
The donations have been received from 30 countries around the world. GoFundMe is, in fact, getting so many donations, it's launching a centralized hub for Thomas Fire victims. And we have a link on our NBCLA.com website. Just search wildfire donations.
And taking a live look right now, high atop Mount Wilson, our camera up there looking at the basin. Fritz has been tracking all the weather conditions, and the question is, will the winds die down a bit, and will it be a little more humid out there to help firefighters? Fritz?
I'll tell you, it won't be. We're going to have a light offshore flow, a light Santa Ana wind for the rest of this week. Bank on it. Now, there will be periods of time, and mainly in the mountains in and around the fire, where the winds are going to pulse back up. We're going to show you when it's going to happen. For everybody else, it's just a dry, warm offshore flow with temperatures a good bit above normal. Right now, we're in the 50s in many spots, low and mid 60s, adjacent to winds, keeping things warm. But as cool as the upper 40s in San Bernardino, 49, downtown 59 degrees. We broke some records today and tied others. Broke one at Long Beach and Camarillo, tied one at Oxnard and Santa Barbara. We're going to be really close to those levels for the rest of the week. Mild offshore flow, light Santa Ana wind, dangerously dry air down in the single digits, occasional periods of gusty winds, temperatures in the 80s until we get to the weekend. Then we're going to get a mild onshore flow. And by weekend cooling, I mean, I don't know that you'll feel it. We'll be down 4, 5, 6 degrees inland instead of the low 80s. Will be in the upper 70s, but technically will be a little bit cooler. Okay, it's all about the wind. Here's where we stand right now. The personality of this Santa Ana wind since it started last week is it pulses up, gets to its strongest in the morning. It will continue that, although not as strong as last week. Follow the timeline. Morning commute tomorrow, 8 or 9 o'clock. We go more yellow than green, so we're moving up into the 20 to 30 mile an hour range, settling down during the day Tuesday, coming back at the same time Wednesday morning, 20 to 30 mile an hour range, settling down Wednesday during the day, coming back Thursday morning. This is the routine, hence very similar weather circumstances right through Friday. We can't let our guard down. Again, the National Weather Service has extended that red flag warning for LA and Ventura County for one more day, and probably beyond that. They're taking it a day at a time. Now, we get a smoke advisory in many areas because even though some of the other fires are under control, we have a lot of smoke moving offshore. So unhealthy air for everybody. The San Fernando Valley in particular, but LA County and Santa Barbara in general. You don't even have to have respiratory issues to be affected by this smoke. If you see it or smell it, please run the air conditioning in your car and at home. Here's an overview of the highs. We're going to have temperatures at the beach like Oxnard, Long Beach, as warm or warmer than the temperatures you'll find inland. Here's your 7-day forecast. The mountains are on top. Minor changes in temperature, maybe slightly warmer for the rest of this week and over the weekend. As always happens, the mountains get the reverse of what happens downwind. That is, the temperatures get a little cooler once the Santa Ana stops. And then the high desert goes 68 for 3 days in a row on the bottom and up to 70 degrees on Friday. Then the valleys of the Inland Empire, 82 for Tuesday. We're up to 84. That'll be the warm day. And then by the weekend, upper 70s to about 80, slightly lower but still above normal. Then the valleys of Los Angeles and Ventura County, 86 for Tuesday, down to 80 by Friday and 78 on both weekend days. The coast goes 84 tomorrow. That's the warm day. And by the weekend, 72 and 76 with minor periods of slight increases in wind in between. 86 on Tuesday downtown and inland Orange County communities. 80 degrees by Thursday and Friday. Then over the weekend, 76 and 78. As I say, better but slightly cooler. Now, the NBC4 wishing tree kicked off tonight with our first wish granted at the Americana at Brand in Glendale. Jessica Tang is a teacher at Knox Elementary School in South Los Angeles. She wished for each of her students to have a special Christmas gift that they might not otherwise get. So her students were given a Target gift card for the holidays, and the Americana at Brand also gave Jessica a $500 gift certificate that she promised she would not spend on supplies for kids, which teachers often do. The giving spirit will continue tomorrow as we will be live at Universal City Walk, making more wishes come true. Incidentally, the kids got a whole trolley full of toys as well. So it was a fun Christmas time. Great way to start the wishing tree. Freddie, you got it.
Fritzer, wishing tree, the best thing we do. Chris Paul, who? This is now Milo's show. Time to get out of the way on the NBC4 Sports Desk.
This is the SoCal Honda Dealers Sports Desk with Fred Rogan.
Raptors' revolving injury door opened again tonight. The good news is that they got rookie point guard Milos Teodosic back. He went down in the second game of the season with a foot injury. The bad news, Danilo Gallinari missed tonight's game against the Raptors with a back injury. Dealing with injuries is something Doc Rivers has gotten used to, but dealing with poor shooting is not something I think Doc will ever accept. Clippers opened the game shooting 32% in the first. The Raptors, meanwhile, were red hot. They shot 50% in the quarter, and they grabbed an 11-point lead, but in the second, Montrezl Harrell said this should boost the field goal percentage, and Blake Griffin was loving that. Careful, Blake, don't move too much, you might hurt yourself. Clippers down 2 at the break. To the 4th, still a tight game. Milos drilled a 3 from the wing. He finished with 12. Clippers were hanging around. Now move ahead, 1 minute to go. Clippers up 4, they need a stop. Kyle Lowry traveled, but no call. Instead, they gave him the basket and the foul. Look at Lowry. Ooh, well, he knew he got away with one, but that's okay. The Clippers have Milos, and he came through with a clutch three-pointer. They're a different team with him on the floor. Clippers held on from there to win it, 96-91. We have some exciting news regarding LiAngelo and LaMelo Ball. The agent their father hired has found them a team to play on, and that team is in Lithuania. Great headline, right? The boys are now pros. It's exciting. But of course, the devil is in the details. A closer examination of the fine print finds that the Ball brothers are headed to a team that reportedly has financial problems. No general manager, can't afford to host practices, and a coach that speaks zero English. But besides that, everything is great. LiAngelo and LaMelo will begin life as pro basketball players in early January, which is perfect since that'll give LeVar time to teach them Lithuanian. Baseball winter meetings are currently in full swing. Dodgers have nothing cooking right now. Instead, they got a front row seat to watch the Yankees officially introduce Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton, the pride of Notre Dame High and Sherman Oaks, publicly said he wanted to play for the Dodgers, but no deal could be reached. And with Shohei Ohtani locked up, the Angels are now making a run at free agent third baseman Mike Moustakas. The Chatsworth native is coming off a huge year with the Royals. He hit 38 homers. No deal is imminent, but the two sides are definitely talking. We're back after this. Rams are busy prepping for Sunday's huge game at Seattle, but they're going to have to do it with a retooled secondary. Today, the Rams plays cornerback Kayvon Webster on injured reserve. That officially ends his season after he ruptured his Achilles during yesterday's loss to the Eagles. In fact, Kayvon revealed today on Instagram that besides his Achilles, he's played the entire season with a torn labrum in his shoulder. Hockey Ducks hosting Carolina. Here is your game winner in the third. Logan Show scored his second of the season. Ducks beat a solid Carolina team 3-2.
This has been the SoCal Honda Dealers Sports Desk with Fred Rogan.
A volunteer church group in Panorama City is collecting jackets and coats for undocumented individuals being deported.
Their humanitarian mission began last month. They will make their first delivery to Tijuana, Mexico on Saturday. Last year, the volunteers collected some 3,000 jackets. They're also asking for letters of encouragement to those facing deportation.
I want to show you the graphic that shows the ground weather conditions up in the fire area. Just one more look, because the winds have come up ever so slightly in the city of Ventura out of the northeast at 11. This is as mild as they will be up about 8 or 9 o'clock tomorrow morning to maybe 20 plus just for a period of time and then back down. That's not as strong as last week, but under these circumstances, anything that strong can be bad.
Okay, they continue. It's been a week already. Coming up next, it's The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon.